Dil To Pagal Hai I have seen like some 30 times in the cinema. DDLJ I've probably seen 100 times in the cinema. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai to I've seen like I don't even know how many ever times. Like
love will never come in a box of a a gift box की तरह बिल्कुल रैप नहीं आएगा कि इसमें तुम्हें प्यार मिलेगा. प्यार तुम्हें एक बहुत ही किसी की गाली में मिल सकता है, किसी की डांट में मिल सकता है. शिद्दत होती है ना तो चेहरे पे होती है. Like even someone is in love who's talking with her boyfriend or girlfriend. आप बस की खिड़की से भी कहीं स्टेशन पे किसी को देखो ना, कोने में एक लड़की खड़ी है बात कर रही है, वो चेहरे पे दिखा जाती है किससे बात कर रही है. मुझे मेरी बहन की शादी का वीडियो बहुत लुभाएगा. मैं रोऊंगा एंड में विदाई पे.
मिर्ची पे मैं हूँ Dnyaneshwari एंड टुडे आई हैव विद मी टू वेरी वेरी स्पेशल पीपल. लव स्टोरियान नाम की एक डॉक्यू सीरीज रिलीज हो गई है ऑलरेडी एंड दीज टू आर टू ऑफ द मेकर्स ऑफ दिस डॉक्यू सीरीज. सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग बात, आई वांट टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम दिस लाइन बिकॉज मुझे लगता है इस लाइन का एक फैन बेस ऑलरेडी बन चुका है. आई अंडरस्टैंड हर, शी अंडरस्टैंड्स मी. शायद यही है प्यार. जब मैंने ट्रेलर देखा, ट्रेलर के सबसे फार एंड में ये एक लाइन आती है एंड that line was everything for me. मैं नीचे comments में गई, everybody was going crazy about that line. मुझे पूछना है कि उनके लिए वो है प्यार, आपके लिए शायद क्या है प्यार?
I mean, प्यार is different from relationships, and love is very. I always say this that love is very difficult to understand, and हमें शायद 1000 फिल्में बनानी पड़ेंगी to kind of understand little bit of it. But for me, love is hope, and yeah.
What about you, Vivek?
I guess it's एक एहसास है जो महसूस किया जा सकता है आई गेस. और हम जिस भी स्टेज के लाइफ पे होते हैं, हर एक चीज़ के मायने और उनकी परिभाषाएं बदलती रहती हैं. जो मायने प्यार के मेरे लिए आज हैं शायद 3 साल बाद कुछ और हों, यू नो. सो आई गेस it's too big a word to kind of be defined in words. I feel it's a feeling. That's how it is for me actually.
लव जैसे इतने क्या कहते हैं फिक्शनलाइज्ड चीज को रियलिस्टिक दिखाना कितना इजी, डिफिकल्ट, चैलेंजिंग, इंटरेस्टिंग था.
तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि प्यार it hides in strange corners and you have to really find it. It's always invisible, like Vivek rightly said. It's a feeling. It's like air. It's all around but you can't really touch it. His film is even called that. Yeah. So I think that's what it really is, and it's actually if you're looking closely, I think it's very easy to find it. Like this transparent love kind of comes to life.
How nice. Vivek, क्या कहेंगे आप?
The whole process is what your question was, no? Just in order to come up with this whole episode, which my section is called Love on Air, and it's about these two beautiful people, Nick and Rajni, you know, in Meghalaya. और प्रोसेस खूबसूरत था, बहुत ही मज़ेदार रहा एक्सपीरियंस बिकॉज यू नो लाइक फीलिंग लव और गेटिंग टू फील लव, इट्स ऑल अबाउट आई फील embracing all the uncertainties, possibilities which you are surrounded by. You know, love will never come in a box of a a gift box की तरह बिल्कुल रैप नहीं आएगा कि इसमें तुम्हें प्यार मिलेगा. प्यार तुम्हें एक बहुत ही किसी की गाली में मिल सकता है, किसी की डांट में मिल सकता है, कहीं एक अनसर्टेनिटी, एंग्जाइटी, पैनिक अटैक में निकल सकता है. सो इट जस्ट एज लॉन्ग एज वी एम्ब्रेस इट, एज लॉन्ग एज वी जस्ट kind of let it come to us, then perhaps we'll be able to understand okay this feeling अच्छा शायद यही है, you know.
Why love Storiyaan only as the word?
I guess I mean this title came from Somen, I guess. I mean and it was shared with us and we all in a way unanimously kind of liked it, you know. So Somen, who's the creator of the show, you know, who conceptualized the whole show and brought all of us together, and we all are so grateful for that we could work on such a beautiful series. So in a way the idea came from him, you know, and when we heard it, we all kind of really liked it. It's very catchy, very people will be able to relate and connect because title is at the end of the day very important for anyone to kind of go and log into it. So yeah.
And it's very nice जब titles जो हैं वो इतने easy इतने हमारी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी के होते हैं कि यार यही बोलते, मतलब ऐसे फील होता है कि यार ये नहीं होता तो और क्या ही होता. लाइक लव स्टोरी, स्टोरीज अबाउट लव, यू नो, दैट इज व्हाट इट इज. मुझे ये पूछना है आप दोनों प्लीज अपनी अपनी कहानियों के बारे में बताइए कि हाउ डिड दीज स्टोरीज कम टू यू और डिड यू गाइज रीच आउट टू दीज स्टोरीज? क्या हुआ?
So all of us chose our own stories. You know, there is this beautiful page called India Love Project. वहाँ पे all these beautiful stories of these beautiful people are listed, and all of us went to that page. And the reason why I chose my stories was couple of reasons. Of course जो उनकी मूल कहानी थी वो अपने आप में बहुत खूबसूरत थी. It's about these two rival RJs and how both of them were dealing with their whatever personal issues they were battling with, and how a listener basically brought both of them together. So that was very fascinating as a story itself. That was one. And second, Meghalaya as a state, you know, as a creative person, I always look forward to stories in terms of where I can explore a new landscape, a new culture. बिकॉज अमूमन तौर पे क्या होता है, हम कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट करते हैं, हमेशा हम अपने HODs को बोलते हैं कि यार किरदार को कपड़े ऐसे देना कि यू नो लुक ऐसे देना कि कभी देखा नहीं गया हो, यू नो कि ऐसा विजुअल दे दो जो कभी देखा नहीं गया हो. अब हर एक फिल्म अगर आप बार बार जाके किसी एक ही स्टेट में या एक ही विजुअल पैलेट पे शो करोगे तो HODs कितना ही अलग दिखा पाएंगे, राइट. सो फ्रॉम द जेनेसिस ऑफ इट यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड कि यार मैं अपनी कहानी कहाँ आधारित कर रहा हूँ. इट विल हेल्प अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल इन ऑर्डर टू मेक इट लुक डिफरेंट एटलीस्ट फॉर दैट मैटर, यू नो. सो मेघालय वाज अ स्टेट व्हिच आई ऑलवेज वांटेड टू एक्सप्लोर.
Lovely, lovely. What about you, Archana?
So when Somen had called me for this and he had explained me the concept, I was excited for two reasons. I'm a documentary filmmaker.
Yes.
And my previous film, actually, I had done very hardcore documentary, and here there was a chance to kind of actually go in a different direction, open a new, like explore a new art form.
Yeah.
And I was more excited also to work with other filmmakers, all of whom I respect immensely. I love Vivek's film also, previous film. So it was very exciting that all 6 of us are kind of coming together. It was a hard to believe story in the first place. So that was something that really attracted me. And also then I found out that both the couple itself, it's very pure. It's almost stoic actually. So I wanted to almost explore this love story that exists in stoicism, sort of a thing. So that's what attracted me.
प्यार के बारे में कौन सी चीजें अनलर्न करी कि मुझे लगता था ऐसा होगा बट भाई ये कुछ अलग ही है.
Actually, that's not, I mean, honestly, it's not that we have unlearned it. I think also the age we are at, we know that the fairy tale exists, but or doesn't exist. Actually, the fairy tale does exist. You know, kuch hota hai. It's like this. And you know, there are the stars. When you're really in love, all those things actually happen. All those things that you have seen in the Bollywood movies, in the good times, they all happen. It's true. And I think it's more learning honestly than unlearning. Like I learned from my film from my characters that resilience is a big part of any love story.
So nice.
So that was something that was my takeaway from it, because this love against all odds really came true in this story. It was an impossible love story that came true. So that was my kind of takeaway from it.
Okay, Vivek, कुछ नई चीजें सीखी आपने?
हाँ, मतलब as rightly said, अर्चना कि अनलर्न करने का ऐसा कुछ पहलू नहीं था. And to be very honest with you, ना the whole approach was somewhere subconsciously, it was never that कि because क्या होता है कि अनलर्न लर्न ये जब ये अल्फाज ये वर्ड्स जब आते हैं जब सबकॉन्शियसली कहीं ना कहीं आपका एक ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद जजमेंट वाला विंडो कहीं खुला रहता है कि ये सही है ये गलत है, अच्छा ये करेक्ट है ये मुझ में नहीं है. सो व्हेन आई वाज देयर आई वाज नॉट डूइंग एनी ऑफ दैट. आई वाज जस्ट being there, you know, and that's what I had in mind ki whatever is there I'm just going to be there and let me just embrace it. So right now also till now I'm not in a way looked at it कि अच्छा ये सही था नहीं था या मैंने ये सीखा नहीं सीखा या टेक अवे भी क्या है मुझे अभी तक पता नहीं है. I was just being there listening to their stories or you know and just trying to understand them and whatever I could capture in terms of जो भी उनकी मुश्किलातें रही हैं, जहाँ वो आज हैं, जो उनके वीक मोमेंट्स जो उनके अच्छे मोमेंट्स जहाँ वो हंसे थे जहाँ वो रोए थे. Basically, I was just trying to be there and celebrate this thing called love with them, you know. And so yeah, that's how it was for me.
मुझे ये पूछना है कि इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट में अगर देखा जाए आप दोनों कैसे देखते हो towards documentary viewing as a habit, as an experience, as a mode of entertainment, if we say.
I think, like you said, you know, like you have to develop a taste for it. Jaise when we grew up, you know, we watched TV, and on television, our idea of documentary was a sit-down interview, or an educational program.
Right.
So I think with the OTTs coming in, what has happened is it has opened up our world to different possibilities. And to actually show that documentaries are not just that, they can be as immersive as any fiction film. You can use music in them. They can take you to a different world.
True.
You know, and it is just as captivating as a fiction film. But yes, it is an acquired taste. When you see it for the first time and then you get the hook on, then your mind opens to these other forms of storytelling.
Yeah.
So it's just about that. And I think as filmmakers, I think our pursuit is also to unlock our own doors to different forms of storytelling.
Right.
So I think with this, I think that's what has happened. I think with all of us, I think we'll agree that, and you know, there's this very cool thing that in film school we learn that the fiction में director God होता है, documentary में God director होता है.
Oh, nice.
So you have to be able to receive that, and I think as an audience also, it's just about receiving, and you will be transported to a new universe.
Vivek, do you have any thoughts on this?
For me, I guess when I think of whole this documentary things, you know, in terms of, I guess, hum sabhi all across India, you know, I do feel that people do have a taste for it. I'll tell you why, because and I'll tell you what's the only difference is also because जब हम grow up, मतलब जब हम बड़े होते हैं, when we grow up and all, we've always seen शादी videos.
हाँ.
Those are all pure documentaries.
Yeah.
You know.
The entire
is documentary. कि मेरी बहन की शादी है, चाचा की शादी है, मामा की शादी है, किसी के मुंडन का वीडियो. Those are documentaries. Those are not fiction. So the only bridge is कि यार शायद मुझे मेरी बहन की शादी का वीडियो बहुत लुभाएगा. मैं रोऊंगा एंड में विदाई पे. मैं शायद उस संगीत के डांस में मैं अभी भी खड़ा होकर डांस करूंगा. अरे यार कितना मजेदार मोमेंट था. बट किसी थर्ड व्यक्ति विशेष का जहां मैं रिलेट नहीं कर पाऊँ, शायद मैं नहीं होऊंगा इंटरेस्टेड. सो द ब्रिज इज for me to get excited about that third person as well.
I'm going to take you guys थोड़ा सा back in time. क्या आपको याद है कि maybe आपने पहली documentary कब देखी थी? When you realized that oh this is a great way of storytelling as well.
So it is very interesting. Actually, I didn't even know that documentaries could be told this way.
Okay.
It was only when I started making my first documentary that I started watching documentaries as reference.
Yeah. As some work.
Yeah, because I had never seen, and I had seen the documentaries that are on Nat Geo, which is wildlife documentary, or something that came on Doordarshan or something like this. But that's when I kind of opened my world to international documentaries, honestly, which have a different storytelling form. And that's when I had seen a film called Bombay Beach. That was my introduction to documentaries. It's a woman filmmaker. I follow women filmmakers a lot. So I kind of really wanted to, suddenly my world opened up to this other form of storytelling. But one of my favorite documentaries of all time is this film called Close Up, and by this Iranian filmmaker, Kiarostami's film. It is incredible. That really changed the way I look at films, at documentaries. And that was really an inspiring start to this journey, kind of a thing. So yeah.
For me also, it's one of Kiarostami's work, the Close Up, what she's mentioned. Other than that, I'm not able to recall, but yeah, that is definitely one of those legendary docus which we had seen, and it really had a huge impact. Yeah.
As filmmakers, मुझे ये सवाल आप दोनों को पूछना है कि everybody talks about a person's creative process. In real life also, you have people around you.
Yeah.
Does that lens keep opening up of a filmmaker every time?
It's always there. Because for me, filmmaking is वो एक Tarkovsky ने एक बहुत ही अच्छी line बोली थी कि I'm not able to put it in proper words, but something on the lines of कि it's about observing life around you. It's just that. It's just that craft and everything comes much later. It's just the observing life around you, and once you'll observe it, perhaps thus you'll have an understanding of it. So because of which क्या consciously कहीं ना कहीं जहन में हमेशा से वो ख्याल, वो उधर कोई उधर बच्चे बैठे अंकल है, अरे उनके साथ में बेटा वाइट कलर का चश्मा लगा रखा है, काफी interesting. So even for a second, if you look at something, suddenly it stays. So your mind is constantly working, And of course, I rightly said कि मन करता है कि अब जब फोन होता था यार, can I capture it? और कभी ये भी ज़हन में ख्याल आता है कि इतना खूबसूरत है, let me just live it.
Yeah, because that must be challenging then, no?
Yeah, a lot of time.
To not do anything about it.
To not do anything about it. Even at home, I mean, at home, a lot of times when I go, my mom, I see she makes beautiful food, delicious food, and a lot of times when I just, because when she cooks, it looks like she's making it so passionately, and to see anyone with so much passion, it's a joy of a visual to look at, right? Be it anything, अगर किसी को लिखने का शौक है, किसी को खाना बनाने का शौक है, तो वो शिद्दत होती है ना, तो चेहरे पे होती है. Like even someone is in love who's talking with her boyfriend or girlfriend, आप बस की खिड़की से भी कहीं स्टेशन पे किसी को देखो ना, कोने में एक लड़की खड़ी है, बात कर रही है, वो चेहरे पे दिखा जाती है किससे बात कर रही है. So at times those visuals you want to capture it, but at times you just want to have a look at it. अरे let me just enjoy it. So that वो हमेशा चलता रहता है. It's all about whether you want to capture it or you just want to witness it and enjoy it. Yeah.
Archana, you've been in documentary filmmaking space for a while now. I want to ask you कि अब over the period of time आपकी creative process कैसी होती है? Like how does a film actually come into being in your case?
Like for me, the main ingredient for a good documentary is time. You need to spend enough time to see a real graph in a character. Otherwise, it can be a retelling of things, but not immediate experience. So, but that really depends again on your form and things like this. But true documentary only comes with true time. That's my process. I think I believe in that strongly, that I like to spend at least 3 years with a character to kind of get the reality of their internal journey. But there, again, like I said, it's an extension of what you're really trying to make. So I think true intimacy is built that time, but otherwise you can always have a true conversation.
Right.
You know, like that's what we have attempted in our series. That we might not have had that kind of leisure time that you can do in independent filmmaking, but you can have an honest conversation. Like I don't want to talk about my own film, that will be just too much, but I could, in Vivek's film for example, he really opened up himself and I could see that the characters opened up to him. So there was a true exchange. So in that, and in that exchange you know that you have it, you have been truthful to your characters and your characters have exchanged something very beautiful with you. And really, in documentary, you have to be most thankful that somebody is revealing their life
something to them, yeah.
They're giving you their life. So you have to be able to not just receive it but be thankful for it. And I would like to talk about Vivek's film because I really saw that, and he has kept himself in the film, which makes it very special. So he has captured that truth and intimacy in that and really understood their love so well and given it respect. So that is great documentary, I think, in the process.
Her is equally good. She's just being
इस स्पेस में आप जब इन सारे लोगों के साथ बातचीत करते हो बिफोर यू एक्चुअली स्टार्ट शूटिंग देम, इन कॉन्वर्जेशंस में आपका लिसनिंग कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है? एंड फॉर ऑल द पीपल वॉचिंग जो डॉक्यूमेंट्री फिल्म मेकिंग एक्सप्लोर करना चाहते हैं, उनके लिए लिसनिंग का इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है?
मुझे लगता है लेट्स रिप्लेस द वर्ड अगेन लिसनिंग विथ रिसीविंग.
राइट.
You have to be there to receive because they are really giving you their love. Any subject. When they're telling their internal conflicts or revealing just an incident in their life, they're really giving you their love. So you have to just be there to receive it and be open to it and not be there with prejudices, because that's when there will be problems.
Right.
You know, when you're there to receive and accept, that's when art can be born. So that's the main thing, I think, to be able to do, and it's very important. It's very, very important. If you put your own feelings
what
into
you
it,
think about what
you
they're
think
doing.
the world is and what they are, and in this world, then there's a problem. You have to just observe, like Tarkovsky rightly said.
मतलब आप बोल रहे हो तो बहुत इजी लग रहा है, बट आई एम श्योर व्हाइल डूइंग इट इट्स नॉट दिस इजी, बिकॉज वेरी नेचुरली हम जब सुन भी रहे होते हैं तब हमारा लिव्ड एक्सपीरियंस उसमें बीच बीच में टांग अड़ाता ही है, और उसको साइड में रख के टू बी वेरी इम्पार्शियल एंड लिसन इज अ टास्क. सो
I guess it's not just in documentary, like we should apply it in life,
Yeah.
and then it should follow in documentary. In life itself, yeah, whoever you are meeting, sitting, always listen first, but we often are just trying to, even someone is saying, कितनी बार क्या होता है ना, किसने आधी लाइन बोली, हमने जजमेंट ऑलरेडी दिमाग में बना लिया, ये किधर जा रहा है पता है. So I guess वो चीज़ें हम अगर like if we'll apply it in our life if itself, first we should do that. You should become a better listener. We all should become a better listener. तभी हम शायद लोगों को अच्छे से समझ पाएंगे, and then we'll be able to respond and not react.
What are the fairy tale pictures that you don't need to paint before they enter documentary filmmaking in India especially?
I think all over the world documentary filmmaking में सबसे बड़ा challenge होता है funding, because मैंने जैसे बोला time is a very big factor in this.
Right.
So I think with this series, I think Somen has taken a very bold step. This kind of thing doesn't exist. It hasn't happened in mainstream. And for that itself, we as filmmakers are of course very thankful that we have been able to explore something the way we wanted to.
It is challenging in today's day and age. The kind of films which are doing great at the box office, एक basic rom-com बनाना भी मुश्किल है. Documentary तो फिर हम कहाँ की बात कर रहे हैं, you know. So we all are very grateful and thankful for Dramatic and Amazon basically for backing this thing up. It's not easy to make a docu on a couple which people don't know, because nobody wants to watch normal people, right? They just want, like, agar koi celeb hai to it's easier for them to watch. Yeah. So it is very challenging. It's very challenging. As I said, like, to make a normal rom-com itself is very challenging in today's age.
Yeah.
To make a docu, it's going to be very challenging, and as rightly she said कि you need a backing, you need funding. So, and सबसे पहले आपको कुछ बनाना पड़ता है. Like, she's made a beautiful about love docu, I'm sure, which you have seen and everyone has seen it. So उसके once she made it, put in so much of effort and it became what it is now. बाद में थोड़ा journey आसान हुई. Now of course she can get grants and a lot of budget help from different sources. But something you'll have to create first. If you can get funding, great. Otherwise you have to just go out and make it, send to the festivals and थोड़ा recognition मिले.
Quickly, can you take us back to the moment जब when you realized that you're in love with filmmaking?
मेरा तो बचपन से था. To be very honest with you, I was that sort of a kid कि यार as long as it's coming on TV, I'm watching it.
Wow.
You know? मतलब मैं वो जी सिनेमा के दशक से पहले से जब दूरदर्शन पे रात को ट्यूसडे पे 9:30 बजे भी फिल्म आती थी, कोई भी फिल्म हो, कैसी भी फिल्म हो, किसी भी कलाकार की फिल्म हो, एज लॉन्ग एट सिनेमा I'll watch, you know. So I was always a cinema buff and any sort of a film. I never used to कि नहीं यार ये सीरियस सिनेमा देखना है या thoughtful सिनेमा, नहीं, सब चलेगा मुझे. While growing up, I guess I remember when I was doing my engineering, that was the time Setmex पे I कोशिश, गुलजार साहब की कोशिश, and that really had a huge impact on me. And I felt कि यार कुछ अलग महसूस हुआ. And then फिर वहाँ से I started exploring a lot of ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी, बासु चैटर्जी films. Then फिर एक दिन लोकसभा पे मेघेड़ा का तारा देखी. फिर I went to Planetum. That time I was in O&M and then I picked up Shyam Benegal's Ankur. So all those films had huge impact in order to take me that decision कि नहीं यार I want to go and learn filmmaking and want to become a director and tell stories. So yeah.
Lovely. From watching to making now.
Yeah.
What about you?
So interestingly, actually, it's all the love story that kind of brought my attention to films.
Oh.
Like when I was a kid, I used to watch on the VHS tapes. So you know, I have seen Maine Pyar Kiya at least 1,000 times.
My God.
I know all the dialogues. I know when the bird falls into the glass and they said, yeah, like literally that many times. Then it was followed, like the films that I saw like crazy number of times were like Rangila. That's when when Rangila came out, that was the first time I experienced a different. It started this sound and light show in Eros Theatre than this, but this magic of a shared dream, where thousands of people, I mean, I think in the Regal Eros must be holding that kind of crowd, together watch one film and share an experience. Yeah. For me, that became, I understood the importance of watching films in a theatre, you know. And then, of course, I have seen all the, you know, the Yash Raj films like that. There is like Dil To Pagal Hai, I have seen like some 30 times in the cinema. The DDLJ I've probably seen 100 times in the cinema. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, to I've seen like, I don't even know how many ever times. Like, so that's where the making kind of thing started. But I think as Indians, we all love films, you know. Like as long, like he said it right. As long as it was coming on TV, we watched it. You know, it was that.
That's so true.
I remember I read it somewhere कि अगर आपने जीवन में कोई कविता नहीं पढ़ी है, कोई पेंटिंग नहीं देखी है, कोई नाटक नहीं देखा है, but as long as you have seen Chaplin films, your soul is sane.
Wow.
You know, I just love him.
That makes complete sense, I feel. Love Storiyaan on Amazon Prime. It's already released. Please go watch it and go tell them what you like about these stories. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.